Sometimes we drive through some pretty crazy places in the chase for new adventures. Whether it be incredibly dusty trails or narrow trails adding new pinstripes to the side of the rig. Sometimes we drive over rocks and through water, and sometimes through ghostly forest burn scars and over treacherous shelf roads. We do this all to discover new crazy places like lava tubes, or to find amazing views that only a few get to see with their own eyes. Noelle and I often do this alone with our two companions. But when you can make new friends out on the trail to share these moments, it makes for a really special time. Times we will never forget. So come along for the ride as we camp among jaw-dropping mountain views, beautiful rivers, and majestic lakes. Along the way, we'll visit gushing waterfalls and black sand dunes in the middle of the forest. I think you're gonna like this. I know we sure did.
All right, so we're off on our adventure. We just left the expo this morning. Well, I should say this afternoon on Sunday. And Saturday night there was a big shindig, a bunch of whiskey tasting. And of course we met some new friends at the event, which is awesome. And we are taking off now from Sisters in Oregon, which is not too far from Redmond, where the expo was. And we're heading up into the mountains. Just met these guys. Literally, in fact, we just met one of our party in a parking lot not too far from there today. So all new people. It's great to meet new friends. And we're gonna go explore some pretty cool spots and take you guys along for the ride. This will be fun. It's funny because they're all in Toyotas and I'm the only Jeep. So this seems to be a theme. I'm the only Jeep. Maybe we'll change our YouTube channel to I'm the only Jeep. This is gonna be cool.
We were incredibly lucky to meet Tessa and Matthew at the Bourbon Potluck at the Overland Expo. The next day we were hitting the trails together with Tessa's daughters, Peyton and Brindley, and their friend Kyle. The next 3 days and 3 nights would turn out to be an amazing journey through some amazing places in Central Oregon Cascade Mountains. This dusty trail was just a harbinger of things to come.
Got this killer.
One of our first stops on the trail would be a lava cave. Although we missed the best part of the day for beams of sunlight to stream into the tunnel, there were still a couple of spots. It was near pitch black hiking back into this section.
Yeah, let's make a great wine cellar, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's awesome. Tess, you're glowing. You're on fire. That's so cool. Noel, come check it out. Or your face in the light. Yeah.
Face or my hand?
But even your hand, it just looks amazing. It's like you're holding light, literally. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's temperature differential. Well, it's also, I mean, it's going to be hot, so it's going to be warm up. Yeah, it'll be pulling air up. So you may have an issue with like.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So this is so freaking epic to meet someone the night before for the first time and then just be out four-wheeling with them in an area you have no idea about the very next day. It's awesome. Oh shit.
I was so mesmerized by the mountain in the distance that I totally missed the turn.
I missed it. Sorry, dude.
These trails were so tight, you can hear the bushes literally scraping both sides of the fenders and doors. Lots of new pinstripes. We were climbing an elevation pretty quickly, but we're not going to camp at too high an elevation tonight. This trail was so steep, I'm in 4 low second gear.
The views are freaking epic up here. This is crazy.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video, do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it'll really help me out.
Nice panoramic. It's a little breezy right now, but according to Windy, the wind is supposed to die down tonight at about 10 o'clock. But the views are worth it. I mean, we're not exactly toughing out crazy conditions. You can tell that the wind is blowing by the trees right now. It's howling pretty good, but we are just on the back side of the ridge right now. And so that put us in a really enviable position. Kind of show you real quick where we have the tent set up. We're just in this meadow right here, which is pretty freaking awesome. And we've kind of strategically positioned the vehicles so that our tent is actually got a pretty good windbreak right now with everything else, which is pretty awesome. Coming up out of this valley is just absolutely epic. And then as you can see, we've got some pretty crazy views of, I'll just tell you, those are the sisters off in the distance. So if you're familiar with Oregon, you know where the sisters are. And then over the top over here, you might catch a peek of Three Fingers, which I actually showed earlier, and I'll put some footage of that up too. So we've got our fire going now. Everybody's kind of cleaning up after dinner. Dogs are chilling and entertaining themselves. Cooper over here is probably looking for another snack. Cooper, what are you looking for, buddy? You looking for some morsels? Hats off to Tess and Matthew. They freaking let us up here. Freaking love these two already. We just met them last night. But they are some of the coolest people we've ever freaking met. This is awesome.
If there's one thing that can really bring people together, it's sitting around a campfire and sharing overland trail stories. We really enjoyed this bunch, and they're as excited about the outdoors as we are.
Into Crystal Crane at the end of it.
That's right.
And
Yep.
so when we did that, we went up, and we came around. I was like, there are like 3 aspen trees, and I was on the radio. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Happy Monday. It's Monday. Dogs are running. I think I've already told you we met Tessa last night, along with hanging out in a circle with Mike from Fly Fisher 530 and Greg from Trail Newbie. And freaking awesome guys, so cool. Just telling her, you know, we were looking to go overlanding somewhere, and you know, we were trying to figure out where we wanted to head to next for our overlanding journey this week. She was like, hey, we're heading up, winding our way towards Portland, and if you want to, you could join us. And I was like, no way. A gentleman by the name of Matthew knows this area very, very well and found this amazing freaking spot. The views are incredible of the mountains. We've got views of the Sisters. You can see off in the distance the clouds are just kind of blowing across them right now to the south. And then we've got, I can't remember the name of this mountain right here, that the clouds are kind of obstructing the summit of it right now with some snow on it. Sitting here with my girl, one of my dogs. Got my coffee, got my breakfast. Now we're just kind of enjoying the view.
Some coffee cooker. Hiding from the wind.
Hiding from the wind, yep. I've had breakfast in worse places. This is pretty cool. Wish the view off my front porch looked something like this.
And just like that, we were back on the dusty trail, headed to the next location. I know the rest of our crew had been here before, but I had never seen black sand dunes in the middle of the forest before. As we made our way out of the black sand beach, the trail served up some moderate obstacles in the form of water crossings and rocks. Tessa drove that full-size Tundra like a champion, and you'd never know this is Noelle's first time behind the wheel.
Drive it, but that helps. She'll take the smoothest line. How do you like driving?
It's all right.
You're doing great. This is awesome.
I'm trying.
I get to ride in the passenger seat for a little bit.
I'm trying not to white knuckle it too much.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Yep.
At this point in the adventure, we jumped back on the pavement for a little bit, but it wasn't even long enough to air up the tires. We were heading to a location that Noelle and I had been to years before. Welcome to Sahalie Falls.
Hey guys.
Cool. Now take one with them doing what they want to do.
I know, right?
Here's us today. And here's us 8 years ago.
Sahalie Falls, Oregon.
It was just a quick stop to check out the falls, have a snack, and use the restroom. Then we were back on the trail to go hunt for new camp locations. We found some really nice locations with fire pits and incredible views. But there was one that really stood out.
As you guys saw, coming up this road right here, we popped out into this campsite area where you can see we can easily fit 4 vehicles. And it gets even better because somebody dropped off a bunch of wood right here to chop with a nice fire pit and some epic views.
A little bit.
Yeah, that was awesome. Totally. Oh man, that's so cool. I can just see that big old Tundra just whipping sideways.
It was just way too early in the day to set up camp, so we were back on the trail looking for even more campsites. We definitely marked this one for future. So the campsites near the water's edge of the lake were not very level and not big enough to support all of our vehicles. So we just kept driving further up the fork of the river. And then we stumbled onto this. Thank God we did. This is awesome.
Well, we got to these crazy awesome campgrounds. Freaking amazing. So it's not dispersed, but still freaking amazing nonetheless. It's heavily wooded in here. Pretty beautiful. I can hear a river flowing through here off in the distance. Kind of feel like I'm a little bit like maybe in Jurassic Park or Lord of the Rings. It's kind of trippy though. There's all these big ferns and tall trees, and it's pretty groovy. Right now we're kind of making dinner, having a cool beverage. Let's go, guys. And relaxing, and then as soon as we wrap up dinner, we'll probably all get together around a bonfire tonight and tell stories. Hey, sweetie, what you got cooking?
Tacos.
What kind of tacos?
Al pastor.
Nice.
I think last time you asked me that I did al pastor too.
Oh, it was?
Yes. At Alabama Hills.
We do a lot of al pastor tacos. Pretty cool. We love tacos. Like they're the perfect camp food. I love it. And it goes good with chips and salsa and beer and some of our favorite things. It's so cool. So the sun is just setting on our little area here in the valley, our little campsite. And we've got some awesome pastor tacos. Dogs are chilling. Mom's got her tacos. She makes some amazing freaking tacos. Yeah, got this, what is it? Mango pico? Mango pico salsa. Whew, so good. My bottom lip is so chapped. Oh well, good times. Packing up this morning. Everybody's eating breakfast, breaking down tents, packing everything back away in the Jeep. Man, I'm so envious of everyone with a rooftop tent right now. Hey, Noelle, how'd you sleep last night?
I slept fabulous.
Say it again.
I slept fabulous.
Okay, awesome, fabulous. All right, so this is cool. Matthew brought us out for a hike to this hot spring area that is really awesome. And so we've been hanging out here. That pool right there is pretty darn hot, but you can see it's clearly not too hot to get into. Next pool, pretty warm down there. And then downstream, there's nothing flowing through those two right now, so we're staying out of them. This is a sweet spot, and it's only about a half-mile hike from the road. Very cool.
To me, it's amazing how the forest can spring up right out of an old lava flow.
Been driving on pavement for a little bit today, but we're airing down now and we're getting ready to head out to a lake, do a little swimming and playing with the dogs. Cooper, where you been, buddy? Hey, what's Cooper? Cooper, sit. Oh, Cooper, dude, what's a Cooper do? Sit, Cooper. Sit. Cooper. Cooper, what happened to you? No kidding, right? You ready, girl? You ready? Go get her. Who's going? The race is on.
Go, Cooper!
Oh, Oh, Cooper. Oh, Cooper. Go get it. Get it, Cooper. Good girl. Good girl, Kaya. Good girl. Good boy, Walter. Go get it. Get it, Walter. There it is. Good boy. Good. Oh, go get it, Kaya. Get it, girl. Where'd that one come from? All right, so nice swim, nice water. Dogs have been fetching sticks for hours. Literally, they never quit. So as long as someone's there to throw a stick, they're gonna keep fetching it. Gonna spend the afternoon here, rest of the afternoon here. Camp tonight. We already set up our campsites. Well, we got our campsites. I need to set up tent. But yeah, this place, well, look for yourself. All right, so don't know if you guys can tell, but we've got, pups are having fun with the friends. Kaya's sleeping over there. That's Cooper. Yeah, Kaya's half asleep. She heard you call her name though, she popped up. Pretty cool.
It's hard since there's no color.
I know. Just remember, Cooper's the big chubby one, Kaya's the skinny one. Yep.
It was once I looked at him, I was like, oh, there's Cooper.
There's Cooper, exactly. So tent set up over here. Kyle set up over here. Tess set up across the way. Yeah, we're set up here pretty good for tonight. Kitchens, beds, everybody's set up. And we're right here on the lake, which is pretty awesome. Good morning. I think it's Wednesday. And Wednesday already. Crazy. Time flies. Pups and I are already up. Man, it's really peaceful out here. Got some birds making some weird noises. But yeah, the campsite last night was pretty cool. I think we're packing up today, and eventually today we split off from this group, unfortunately. Back on our own, solo. We were around the campfire pretty late last night, and didn't really get into the tent till almost 11 o'clock last night, so it's about probably 6:30 a.m. this morning. It's pretty cool watching the steam come off of the lake as the sun comes up. crazy beautiful.
Right turn at the next intersection, right at the next intersection. Copy.
After breakfast, it was time to leave our little slice of paradise and get back on the trail. We didn't have far to go, just to Sahalie Lake, but this section was going to take us through a substantial burn scar and over the roughest section of trails we'd seen so far. If you're watching this right now, please be careful with your campfires. This forest will not grow back in my lifetime, and this is becoming way too common. So I know I haven't mentioned it, but Noelle is still driving, and I don't think she likes these shelf roads. We made it to Sahalie Lake, and Noelle was an amazing driver.
All right, making a quick stop here at Sahalie Lake to just make some lunch real quick. This lake is just crystal clear. Check this out. As you can see, they've got a bunch of rental rowboats here, which is pretty awesome. Dock's a little wiggly, but it's pretty cool. Just gonna walk out here and take a peek at this because the view is freaking spectacular. Is that cool or what? Man, this is so freaking cool. And the water is just absolutely crystal clear. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. Pretty awesome. So we'll grab a quick lunch here and then we'll head down to I think the 26, which is where we're going to be splitting up. Unfortunately, kind of bummed about that because Man, these guys were awesome. It was really fun. Making new friends out here is kind of what it's all about, so that's pretty freaking cool.
This has already been one of my all-time favorite trips. Noel and I still have several days to go. This wasn't a difficult four-wheel drive trail, but we made some great memories and we'll never forget them. And most importantly, we met some amazing new friends. I can't wait until we can get together for more adventures. Peyton, Brinley, Tessa, Kyle, Matthew, Walter, and Arlo. Until we meet again, happy trails, guys.